Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about James Wan, a modern director, producer, and master of horror. James Wan was born on February 26, 1977 in Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia. Like many kids, James Wan enjoyed watching films as a young child, and he was inspired by the subtle horror of such films like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He knew from age 11 that he wanted a career in filmmaking. He attended the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology in Australia, and upon his graduation, he began work on his first short film. His short film Stygian in the year 2000 won awards at his university for its guerrilla aesthetic and also gave James the confidence to begin his career as a horror director. During his time at university, James also met Lee Whannell, his best friend and future collaborator. Lee is quoted as saying that he knew James Wan would be successful, so he decided to grab onto his coattails as early as possible. And with Lee writing and James directing, the two started their first collaboration in 2004. And so began the production of James Wan's first film, Saw. Much of this film takes place in this filthy room where strangers Adam and Lawrence woke up, chained to either side of the room, unaware of how they got there. The film focuses primarily on physical, mental, and emotional torture. But it also spawned this iconic horror character, Billy the Puppet. With ventriloquist dummies in mind, James Wan began work on his next project in 2007. With James and Lee collaborating once again, horror fans were given dead silence. The film follows Jamie Ashton, who's trying to prove that this ventriloquist doll is responsible for his girlfriend's murder. Although this film received many negative critical reviews, horror fans loved it for its focus around ventriloquist dummies. And where the film failed in acting, it made up for with excellent visual effects. Next we have Insidious. With many German expressionist shots, this 2010 film focuses on a young boy named Dalton who has mysteriously fallen into a coma. Grief-stricken and desperate, his parents turn to paranormal specialists. The specialists inform them that there is something supernatural behind their son's coma. The film has stunning visuals and is generally very creepy. It also stars Patrick Wilson, who impressed James Wan during production. This led James Wan to cast Patrick Wilson in his next upcoming horror project, 2013's The Conjuring. The Conjuring tells the classic horror tale of a family who moves into a new house. And while everything goes well at first, the family begins to grow worried when weird things start happening around their house. As many of James Wan's films do, The Conjuring incorporates children to raise the stakes, explore the familial structure, and show how far parents will go to protect their children. The Conjuring was met with commercial success, and many consider it to be James Wan's best feature to date. Now on to James Wan's signature directorial style. Wan often includes climactic scenes taking place in dark, creepy basements. When a character is seen in a dimly lit place, you know that trouble is just about to occur. And of course, with darkly lit spaces, you get the use of shadows. Next, we see the similarities between these three objects of fear and evil in James Wan's films. Not only are they all strikingly similar to one another because they're ventriloquist dummies, but they also all have red accessory. This is representative of the fact that in James Wan's films, red always accentuates evil. Finally, we have the jump scare, a technique frequently used in horror films. This is a technique where a visual and auditory strike burst onto the screen at the same time, creating an impactful moment and making the audience jump. James Wan is incredibly well known for using the jump scare effectively. James Wan said, "Craft is important, and the irony has always been that horror may be disregarded by critics, but often they are the best made movies you're going to find in terms of craft." So whether or not you're a fan of horror, I encourage you to watch a Wan film for its artistic merit. As James and Lee continue to collaborate with one another, there should be many excellent horror films in the near future. James Wan is truly a fabulous auteur, and it cannot be denied that he knows horror. Thank you, Mr. Robinson and my peers, for listening to my video.